Hi everyone, it's me again, Sir Noedy, and we're here for another episode of Science 101. So today we will be learning about the introduction to science. So I will be introducing key concepts that I want you to learn about science, and I will drill you on how to understand science better. What is science? So, science is an organized body of facts concerning nature. It concerns everything, all facts that we know about nature. So, it is our entire knowledge about the facts on nature. Science is observing, studying, and experimenting to find the nature of things. And it is also a process of how to find these facts about nature. So we cannot do science without observing, without studying, and without experimenting the nature of things. So in order to understand nature, natural phenomena, we need to have science. We need to study. We need to gather information and to gather data. And science is that process. And science is also the product of that very same process. So, what does science study? Science studies, as is shown in the first picture here, studies the universe, outer space, heavenly bodies, and we call that science, we call that field of science astronomy. On the other side, shown is Mayon volcano and the study of the processes involved in the earth. So that is geology. That is another field of science. And shown to the lower corner is a carabao. So science studies living things. Science studies organisms, and that is the field of science that we call biology. Scientist is a person who studies science. We call them scientists. Shown here are two of the most prominent scientists of the 20th and the 19th century. For the 20th century, we have Albert Einstein. So Albert Einstein proposed the theory of relativity, and he is known in the field of physics. To the other side, you have the only woman who had two Nobel Prize for chemistry, and that is Marie Curie. She is known for discovering a lot of radioactive substances that has been applied in many areas of medicine and technology today. Scientists do many things. The first thing that they do is they ask relevant questions. A scientist must know how to ask, what to ask, and why to ask think questions. Because it is in asking questions that we discover, that we learn. It is in asking questions that we know more about our environment, ourselves, and all the things that surround us. A scientist investigates. After asking the question, the next thing that you will do is to investigate whether or not what is the answer to that question, or whether or not the question has value. Then, if you can propose a possible solution, a possible answer, a tentative answer, or a hypothesis, then the third thing that a scientist will do is that he or she will conduct an experiment. And in conducting an experiment, then he will use the process of observation and other scientific processes, which may include testing results. What do scientists believe? But before that, let's clarify on the point I had earlier. Why do you need to conduct an experiment as a scientist? Why do you need to ask questions? Why do you need to observe? You need to ask questions in order to stimulate learning. You need to observe in order to clarify the answers that may be on your mind. You test in order to verify, because science is empirical or observable, and science is testable and verifiable. So, what do scientists believe? Scientists believe that the universe can be described by basic rules. All things in the universe can be described by basic rules. We can formulate equations or laws to explain physical constants. We can create theories that we can either prove or disprove, which we will use to explain certain phenomena. These rules can be discovered through observation and experimentation. So that's the point there. You need to conduct an experiment and you need to observe in order to discover the rules that govern the universe. Because without experimentation and observation, no one, no scientist can be able to prove or disprove a theory. And that's the point of science, proving and disproving a theory. Because when there is a theory to be proven and a theory to be disproven, there is science. Without that, that's not science. That's mere allegations. That's mere superstition. Okay? A scientist may come up with new hypotheses and experiment or simply check the results of other experiments. That's the point there. We need to have a testable science. Scientific inquiry. What is it? Inquiry is a way of seeking information through questioning. Scientific inquiry uses the scientific method. I will create a separate video to explain the processes involved in the scientific method. But now let's talk about inquiry. It is a way of seeking information through questioning. You start with forming a question. Without a question, you cannot create an answer. What will you answer? What's the point? What will you do? So you need to start with a question. Why a scientist performs experiments? I've talked about this one earlier, but let me reiterate again. To find out something new about the natural world. You need to conduct experiment in order to find something new. You cannot discover something new without conducting experiment. Secondly, to explain something that is already known. So there is a known, for example, uh, this plant or that plant can cure that disease. So why does that plant cure that disease? That is explaining something that is already known. What is in that plant? You're conducting in-depth analysis. You're breaking down the components. 3. To check the results of other experiments. This one, testability, verifiability. 4. To test predictions of current theories, whether or not the current theory creates or solves the problems that we have adequately in reality. In reality. So that's all for this part of the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope that you will click like and click subscribe and watch out for the next video. Thank you.